Hi, welcome to another video. Today's topic is Amazon Web Service SysOps. So let's start the question. A user is planning to schedule a backup of an EBS volume. The user wants security of the snapshot data. How can the user achieve data encryption with a snapshot? Option A. Use encrypted EBS volumes so that the snapshot will be encrypted by AWS. Option B. While creating a snapshot, select the snapshot with encryption. Option C. By default, the snapshot is encrypted by AWS. And option D. Enable server-side encryption for the snapshot using S3. The correct answer is option A. Use encrypted EBS volumes so that the snapshot will be encrypted by AWS. Explanation: AWS EBS supports encryption of the volume. It also supports creating volumes from existing snapshot, provided the snapshots are created from encrypted volumes. The data at the rest, the 1O, as well as all the snapshot of the encrypted EBS will also be encrypted. EBS encryption is based on AES 256 cryptographic algorithm, which is the industry standard. Let's move to the next question. A user has created a public subnet with VPC and launched an EC2 instance within it. The user is trying to delete the subnet. What will happen in this scenario? Option A. It will delete the subnet and make the EC2 instance as a part of the default subnet. Option B. It will not allow the user to delete the subnet until the instances are terminated. Option C. It will delete the subnet as well as terminate the instances. And option D. The subnet can never be deleted independently, but the user has to delete the VPC first. The correct answer is option B. It will not allow the user to delete the subnet until the instances are terminated. Explanation: a virtual private cloud (VPC) is a virtual network dedicated to the user's AWS account. A user can create a subnet with VPC and launch instances inside that subnet. When an instance is launched, it will have a network interface attached with it. The user cannot delete the subnet until he terminates the instance and deletes the network interface. Let's move to the next question. A user has set up an EBS backed instance and attached two EBS volumes to it. The user has set up a cloud watch alarm on each volume for the disk data. The user has stopped the EC2 instance and detached the EBS volumes. What will be the status of the alarms on the EBS volume? Option A, OK. Option B, insufficient data. Option C, alarm. And option D, the EBS cannot be detached until all the alarms are removed. The correct answer is B, insufficient data. Explanation: Amazon CloudWatch alarm watches a single metric over a time period that the user specifies and performs one or more actions based on the value of the metric relative to a given threshold over a number of time periods. Alarms invoke actions only for sustained state charges. There are three states of the alarm: OK alarm and insufficient data. In this case, since the EBS is detached and inactive, the state will be insufficient. Let's move to the next question. A user has launched an EC2 instance from an instance store backed AMI. The infrastructure team wants to create an AMI from the running instance. Which of the below mentioned credentials is not required while creating an AMI? Option A, AWS account ID. Option B, X.509 certificate and private key. Option C, AWS login ID to log into the console. And option D, access key and secret access key. The correct answer is option C, AWS login ID to log into the console. Explanation: when the user has launched an EC2 instance from an instance store backed AMI and the admin team wants to create an AMI from it, the user needs to set up the AWS AMI or the API tools first. Once the tool is set up, the user will need to following credential: AWS account ID, AWS access and secret key access, X.509 certificate and private key. Let's move to the next question. A user has configured an SSL listener at ELB as well as on the backend instance. Which of the below mentioned statements helps the user understand ELB traffic handling with respect to the SSL listener? Option A. It is not possible to have the SSL listener both at ELB and backend instances. Option B. ELB will modify headers to add requested detail. Option C. ELB will intercept the request to add the cookie details if sticky session is enabled. And option D. ELB will not modify the headers. The correct answer is option D. ELB will not modify the headers. Explanation: when the user has configured transmission control, protocol, or secure socket layer for both front-end and back-end connections of the elastic load balancer, the load balancer forwards the request to the backend instances without modifying the request headers unless the proxy header is enabled. SSL does not support sticky sessions if the user has enabled a proxy.